Well, hello there, everyone. Hopefully we've got some audio issues fixed today, but my name is Emily and welcome back to Train Simulator Classic. We are here at Wembley on the West Coast Mainline South. Just peek that in ever so slightly and we'll just do that to that level. Hopefully that should be a good level so you can still hear everything and we can have a good time. We are route learning today. This is one of the scenarios that comes with the AP Class 92 EP. Yeah, and I need to fix that again. So we are operating today way on 6075 to 1045 Sheerness to Moss End Yard service. We are running basically up the Wacamo with a sort of varied regs. We've got some tutters, TTAs, some budders, BDAs, so I've swapped the rake around which got the local prefix. You can see, we'll talk about that in a sec. CAs, covered hoppers, IZAs, vans. No idea what that actually, IGA I think it codes as, and then some OCAs. Now we need to get into the chat and get the train ready to depart. So key on, reverse it to neutral. We'll prepare the NRN, reset the AWS self-test sequence. Look, train brake comes off, local brake goes on. So I'm now only braking with the locomotive, which is fine. We will put our speed limit at 50 miles an hour. As far as I'm aware, they use it in real life, so I'm going to use it in the game. And we'll go K to turn off our tail lamps. H to turn on our headlight. We'll put the Cyclops light on because why the heck not? As soon as I put the reverser forward, the headlight comes on. Cab light shouldn't be on in the first place. Now, part of the scenario we need to draw up to the departure signal, so we'll do that. So just slowly pull away. And like I said, we're going to draw up to the signal. Now we need to stop for the scenario to be completed successfully. I'd probably just wait here until I had the road, but Mr. AP wants me to draw up, I shall draw up. Put a little bit of power on just so we won't take our time. Basically, I think the marker is satisfied when you cover over this point frog here, or when that point frog goes out if you're underneath the front of the train. This is a Class 92. This one's quite special to me, actually. This is just a coincidence that this one was used. One of my first ever model railway models was a Class 92, and it was this one, 92022 Charles Dickens. And I still have it. It's damaged and very hurt now, but it actually was my underwear drawer for protection because it's unboxed. And yeah, we've got a lovely train. Now you can see on the back we've got just some random sleepers dumped there. So we're operating a little bit of everything for everyone. I'll just draw up to the starting signal here at Wembley. So station ahead you see there is Wembley Central. We'll be going down the slow lines. To the left of us, that's the fast lines. To the left of that, that is the Watford DC lines. That is actually London Underground territory. But you see the 313s on there, and you see London Tube stock. What I want is just going to get my advanced notes up here. And there you have it. So sorry, I've got Ping Pong Club in my head again. So we are there. What I'll actually do again is I'm just going to just do the local brake set. And we are here stationary, and we'll knock the train into neutral as well. We'll leave the Cyclops light on. We are just awaiting the road here with Charles Dickens. I do believe it's this 321 that we're waiting to pass on his way to Birmingham New Street. We have actually driven a 321 on this route route loading video. It was the one stopper I've done, and I hate that train. Still haven't driven it since. I am actually hopefully going to be doing some cool train sim scenario stuff. So I'm one of the people who helps moderate the Dad Rail streams, and part of that I do most of his train sim scenarios, to be honest, because he doesn't do enough of them. I'm bullying going, do this, Dad Rail, Richard, do this, Richard, when you're doing train sim scenarios, Richard, yeah. This is the nature of freight. Hurry up and wait. I will, just out of an abundance of caution, I'll tap the start signal. So the wagons I swapped out were at the rear of the train. So this was originally two of these vans and two IGA flats. And I replaced them with the CAs because I've never actually ran these in trains, so I've had them for ages. And obviously IZAs because they're basically vans, but they have better sound. This, for some reason, I couldn't convince to take AP sound, so it just sits there. And OCAs because they're pretty cool, and I've not actually used them in a route loading video yet properly. And they've just got some wooden sleepers that are being taken somewhere in them. So that's fine. So boost doesn't work, AWS does work, power. So yeah, right to left, I guess. GSMR, which wouldn't be here yet. NRN, which is plugged in, and we've obviously pressed Control Enter to implement it, or to set it up, sorry. That's the handset for the NRN, I believe. Next, you got what I believe is basically your login and clever maneuvers, like channel stuff, basically. An annotator panel. I'll de-isolate the safety system, but everything else is operational. Power stuff. I've never actually noticed the VCBs open. I don't know. Oh, that's cool. That is very cool. I bet I get the road now. I fucked up, haven't I? Oh no, VCB closes that. Look at me knowing my train. So VCB open and close. But this basically disconnects. It's a vacuum circuit breaker. So basically, it's a circuit breaker in a vacuum because if you open a circuit breaker under the voltage that we're using, while this fog's rolling in, under the voltage that you get from the overhead wires, you draw a massive arc. So it happens in a vacuum. So you get a vacuum circuit breaker, or circuit breaker in a vacuum, and you open that up, and you basically disconnected the train from the overhead wires, or the loco from the overhead wires. So that's why all the traction motors and fans died when I hit that. I'll do it on the move just as a demonstrator that you completely lose all track of effort. Hopefully I don't cause a train fault at that point. Signal bell. Thank you. Finally got the road. Can proceed as far as the line is clear. Also using the brand new patch Bash Clark for the Virgin stock today. And away we go. So we are 15 until the full train clears onto the West Coast Main Line. I will actually just roll it up to power now. So this train's obviously also fitted with TPWS. This wouldn't be active at in this era. TVM 430 signalling system. This is TVM Annunciation's brake controller. Speedometer is quite interesting because it's tape based and it can switch between MPH and KMH. At the moment at MPH, press a button and well change over to either BRC TRL or EUAC and I'll start commuting kilometers an hour, which is quite cool. We can see we've got the signal at the end of the platform. However, we need to wait for the full train to be on. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. So just going to poke our head out and look down into the train and check for good running of the train as it smashes through the trespass grid there. Well done, Dovetail. And we're on the star lines now at Wembley. So we've pulled off to a green signal, which is good. Means we can go straight up to line speed of 60. That was the DSD sounding off there. I'm just going to go back to looking at the side of the train. So we can basically we know the full train's on now. Just using that. So full power on, and we'll just let the train roll up to 60. You can see obviously we're fully on there. Okay. So you'd check for good running of the train, put your head outside in situations where basically you can see down the train. And what you're doing is just looking to make sure the train isn't rocking about like mad, hasn't come off. Warning for first neutral section, so be aware of that. So I'm leaving it to accelerate and supervise its own acceleration. Obviously we're in full power, so this is the fastest acceleration you can achieve in the train. I'm going to re-isolate that DSD because it's going to annoy me because I'm not hearing that sound barely. I think it's in that range of sound I can barely hear. I do have some hearing issues. Green light, and that combined with the fact that this is a video game, I'm going to give myself accessibility considerations, even though I wouldn't get them in real life, because at the end of the day, it is a video game, folks. I am waiting for this neutral section to see if it pops out, so I'm going to close the throttle controller. We're just below 60. No, VCB doesn't open. Oh no, it does? Yes, it does, good. So I don't have to do that manually. So I was when I used to be on Twitter, remember reading one of the drivers who runs these in real life on the sleeper. Basically had an issue where he had to manually open and close the VCB every neutral section because the loco had a fault. What I'll actually do, because we're up to speed now, I'm going to go for about a third power and let the train coast back, and then I can re-accelerate again. In case you're wondering why this feels so quiet, that's because it's an electric loco. It's not loud. Like, it is not loud. I'm sorry, because it's summer and it's hot and I'm putting my fan on. So yeah, 60, we just sat all day basically on this. Like I say, we are on the slows. Over on the left there you can see the lines are still on DC. That was, what do you call it, that we just passed? Bear with me, I'm not braining very well. That was Harrow and Wealdstone, the end of the Bakerloo line. So I believe this is now Network Rail Track on the left. Basically, it doesn't change much in the way of different in terms of how you drive trains on it. It's just who's responsible for maintaining it. Headstone Lane, the next station will pass. Followed by Hatch End, Carpenter's Park, Bushy. And then off on the left, Watford High Street, we go up the main to Watford Junction. All sorts of places. I do only want to do the DC lines for Route Runner in TSW. There you go, and there's the 313. So this is obviously in the days of the pre the 378s. So hopefully you guys are doing good. I actually worked a train today. Seems insane to say. So obviously, as you guys know, I work in the railway industry. I work on board catering, and because we've got a massive timetable increase coming, that's cool. No, 90. We're at 60. Doesn't apply to us. Because massive timetable increase coming, we are taking on tons of staff. Now, I'm on what's called a spare roster. What that means is basically I'm used normally to cover like jobs that are like uncovered work. So in an office, right, you have 100 people, 100 desks. If someone doesn't come in, you can sort of divvy it up quite easily. The problem with on-train work is obviously once a train leaves the station, it's very difficult to then put someone on said train. That, by the way, is... I wasn't paying attention. I'm not actually 100% which one that is now. That's a DC line station. Sorry. I have done too much caffeine today. But part of that means that I basically... So I'm used to cover if someone's phoned in sick, if someone's on holiday. That's the kind of stuff that I work. And at the moment, we're in a phase where everyone's trying to make money for the summer. So everyone's showing up for work. No one wants to lose wages. We've got tons of new staff, and who are all on spare rosters as well. So you sort of cycle through who gets the jobs. But because I've been there a little while, I'm not being prioritised, I don't think. So basically I've not, like, bear with me and I'll double check when the last time I worked a train before today was. Or Sunday. But still. Like, weekdays, you don't get any trains. And by the way, I'm recording this on Thursday night. Oh, what a night. Dude, yeah, so, I did today, because today is the 12th. That's pulling off, so, yeah, pulling off to a green, so I'm not too concerned about the signals. I'm presuming that train that we're following is that 321, and it's going to be... Oh, okay, so we've tripped the DLF out. So this is one of the faults that's simulated. So I'm going to close the throttle controller. Barely losing speed here, even though we're going uphill. Press F to reset the fault. The train's now happy that it can go, and we can draw power again. I'm going to say it's about a third. Yeah. And we'll just truck up at the hill. But yeah, so it was Sunday, and then before that I had a book job to be fair. But like So I do get some what are called boot jobs, and they're jobs where um, you basically to balance your hours so that you don't have like a million rest days. They give you some short shifts. So that's what I was doing today. But it's nice to get that break. So like I had took 2 days in a row where I had a little like basically went to work, sat for 4 hours, I went home. That is practically unheard of for me. That's never happened in the year that I've been in that I've been on a spare roster. Just hasn't happened. And it's nice because before that I'd gone through a phase of being absolutely shafted by some really sort of hard jobs. And yeah, they go Mark threes. Dip the horn because we're a freight train, we're non-stop down a slow line. People aren't paying attention, all that kind of nutty goodness. And we've got Mark 3's DVT on the back. Like I say, it's a 90 line speed, but it's not affecting us because we just sit at 60. But yeah, I'm trying to think of things to talk about. What have we got to talk about? So, I am probably going to be doing, well, the whole of this month I want to do freight, because I just want to do a bit of variety freight. So I've not actually done, I don't think, a mixed freight train video. Actually, that's a good shout. Running brake check. So because every train has a different braking characteristic, one of the things we need to do on a regular basis, when we first pick a train up, and to start our journey, is do what's called a running brake test. That is to check that we basically understand what the braking characteristics are of the train, and that the train is set correctly. I've waited quite a while to do it. The reason for that is definitely not because I forgot, but because we were leaving London, and we were going up a hill. Actually, I'll do it in this tunnel. So I'm going to select a brake application. In fact, let's just do that. And I'm going to select a brake of full service brake application. Watch the speed decrease down to about 45. So you get really good braking. Also, this, as you can hear, the fans kicking in there. This does regenerative braking as well. I'm going to let the brakes fall off, which they now have. Yep, flow's almost stopped. And we'll put the power back on. So basically, what we know is this thing brakes very well. No concerns with the braking characteristics. So when our power's back on again, yeah, and we're rumbling, and we're rumbling. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba da ba da. 70 post, but again, doesn't matter for us. We come off the curve here. So it was Wembley Central was the last station. Sorry, what Wembley Central? Watford Junction. My apologies. Kings Langley is the next station we're looking out for. To be honest, this is a very easy run because you just stay at 60 all the way. So really, all you're doing here is just managing your throttle. And if we didn't have the power controller, this would be a lot harder. But we've got speed set. Train basically looks after itself. I'm a fan of the 92s. They are. I do think they're some of the biggest lost potential we had on the UK railways. Like, they are incredibly cool locos, and they've never. I don't think GB, okay, they're using them quite a bit for the sleepers, but like the potential for the mixed traffic side is just not utilised because the power of electricity right now. The freight operators just aren't using electric traction. Freightliner is the one exception, but that's limited, to be honest, with them. Still majority diesel traction. Let's do a flyby. I love the difference in sound because this is we'll sit at Kings Langley and watch it through. But the difference in sounds this makes, I think, is really cool because really you've got leading at the TTAs, which are four-wheel bogies. Then you've got bogie traction. Then you've got four-wheelers again. Four-wheelers, bogie, four-wheelers. And it's different sound sources, different mechanics. It's just not an experience you get with trains nowadays very often. Because majority trains I can think of that run on the UK Railway are either the same wagons or very similar wagons. If you think Sorry about that sniffle. You've got intermodal. That's basically all FSAs or all KFAs now. Very similar mechanically. Some limited exception, I guess, with the pocket wagons and stuff, which are classified as KFAs as well, I believe. But you sort of get unit load, if that makes sense. Probably the one exception to the rule, I think some of the West Country to London building aggregate trains, they are mixed bogies, which are quite a bit of an age range in the market until recently. And that would, you get some really different sounds from that. But yeah, and I guess even the P-way trains now, it's all J&As or whatever, or MMAs as they are now, the new ones. You know, it's used to get four-wheelers and all sorts. Remember, just a rake of coalfish, 36 odd coalfish. Seeing that at Newcastle, that's gone. Coalfish are pretty much gone from the UK Railway. Coalfish are MHAs, MFAs, EAs, but they don't really get used for that kind of work. Double amber, single amber next. So we are probably catching that train up ever so slightly. What I can do, just because I want to stay on greens, I'll shut off for a little while. 319. Meow. No, that's not an error, as you can see from the promo vinyls on that if you caught a glimpse of them. They used to run up to rugby. 90. I enunciate it to myself just for my own, like, remembering the speed limit, but yeah. And that's absolutely. We've got Hemel Hempstead next. So we are got 6 stations to go after this. After 5, sorry. There's Berkhamsted, Tring, Cheddington, Leighton Buzzard, Bletchley, and Milton Keynes Central. I'll actually stand on the brakes outside Milton Keynes and we stop down, and that's where we get relieved. So now we've given it a few beats, we've let the speed decay off. I'm actually going to set it to about half. You can see we're still accelerating, which is insane. And we're going up a hill. I'd say it just keeps going. It just has all the spoons. Hemel Hempstead. I don't know what this voice is. I don't know. 3, 2, 1. Go! I'm so funny. Oh God. I actually at work today, working with a new guy. We've just had the new menus put on as well, so we were talking about, we've got mac and cheese on board now. It's expensive, but looks quite good actually. And he said, yeah, oh, it's only 300, like 300 calories or something like that. I wonder what the trans fats are, and I just instantly was like, you are so transphobic. The customers at the bottom burst out laughing. I was like, I can make that joke. It's fine. It's fine. I just completely forgot the yeah. I was proud of that joke, okay, and I know it's like a very basic level of humour, but it's funny, okay, it's funny. I'm trying to shut off now for the neutral section. Because I mean, you can see double amber, single amber. Weirdly, you can see a green, but I don't think that's ours. That green probably shouldn't burn through as far as it is. .55 we're down to, that's fine. I'm just wanting to see this next signal pull off a bit further for us first. that pulled off to a double. Like I say, this is very easy. It's just you following a train. So that's a single amber. So I'm definitely fully power off now. Single amber, red ahead. So we've got decent length thing logs because we're 85 here, but I'm gonna. Actually, no, we've got very good brakes. We're getting good sightings here, so use a slight amount of brake. Just skim us back to maybe 40. And you can see it's an amber again, so we'll just brake off now. Just over the 40 mark. Double amber, single amber next. I'm just coasting around here. We'll see what we look like coming off this curve. There'll probably be a platform starting signal here. Here, of course. Yeah, I can see I've got an amber at the end. Let's go. Hampstead. Yeah, and we're off to a green. Brilliant. Straight up to power. Absolutely raw down the platform. I love that you can hear the flats and the TTAs as well. And just the different, like, even the fact that the OCAs have got like a little bit of a squeak to them. So it sounds like, you know, the panels, because on the OCA wagons, these obviously fold down, so they'll move a little bit, you know, just out of looseness, and you can hear that sort of shakiness, and I really like that. Sorry, that you can hear that, can't you? Anyway, 3, 2, 1, Silverlink. And we're back at 60, so I'm just going to shut off again. Let the power rumble down. So we're at Berkhamsted, like I say, we've now got sort of some bigger blocks between stations. So we've got another 20 miles still to roll. So we've got another 20 minutes, because we're going to be about 60 miles an hour most of the way. Let's see how accurate that estimate is. 23 minutes or 22 minutes, it's saying. I'm trying to follow good driving characteristics. So part of that is you don't just leave it on the speed set. So you see it, we're obviously at 58, 59, 59 and a bit. So I'm going to just reduce my power down. Leave just a tiny amount on. as the train basically it pushes against the resistance, speed comes off, you speed back up again, and that's sort of how you should drive, supposedly. Now, there's the AFB approach, which is basically let the train just sit on power. So you wouldn't leave it in full power, but say I go up to full power temporarily just to get us back up to 60 fast. You see how at will I can make this thing accelerate. Like if this was a 66 on freight, I'd be having a conversation with it like, come on, you can do it. To be fair, the 92 is just not being taxed on this job at all. Next station, the next station that we'll be passing through today, after Berkhamsted, is Tring. Now, fun fact for you about Tring, it's where they invented the telephone. Tring, 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 tring. If anyone's still watching, I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not. I lied. That was funny, and you know it. So yeah, Tring Station, we've now cleared. I always wonder why there were lights there, like, because it doesn't seem like the best lighting position for like on-track lighting, but yeah, it feels weird. Feels weird, man. Feels weird. Weird. Do 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 do. So basically, what I've done here is the AFB approach, which is reduce my power enough, leave it on powering, leave it on, and then basically just brake manually and then set the speed set from there, which you have to do anyway because feature of the 92. If I reduce the speed set, it just sounds this alarm and does absolutely nothing. So I put it back to 60 and leave it there. So it drops the power off, but that's all it does. And then it shouts at you, it says, "No, slow down, you're speeding," basically. Anyway, I am running out of things to talk about, not gonna lie. So just got it sitting against the speed set now. I can put full power if we want, it makes no difference. So showing you on the map where we are, that's Milton Keynes. We're here, Sheerness End, and we've come from here. So we've done a decent chunk of journey. That's Milton. That's actually, this is Milton Keynes where we hand over. This line here is the line towards Bedford, and that is the Marston Vale line, featuring such stations as Aspley Guys. Meow. Another 3, 2, 1. What else is there to talk about? Right, let's finish off the cab tour. So we covered this desk, GSMR, NRN, relevant handsets, master key, 4-step reverser, forward, neutral, reverse, off. Boost only works on channel. AWS, throttle, or power controller. Track effort indicator. So if you work these in multiple on the main line, it chops the power to half. So there's no point working them in multiple unless one's got a mechanical problem. Or two have got a mechanical problem, like you've got certain retraction motors isolate. That's like the one case I forget, I guess. Like say various isolation switches. So what we'll actually do, since we are making pretty good time here, listen out for the traction sounds. I've got to open the VCB. Traction motor sound's gone away, still got the rolling sound. I'm now going to throttle off. We are basically just rumbling now. There's no electronic sounds coming from the train. No fans, no nothing. That is the train coming back to life. The pans remained up for the duration, but it is basically the same as if we pan down the train, except we can do it on the fly quite easily. I quite like that that's actually a switch on this loco. Obviously brake controllers, TPWS, TPM, TMS, that does have, you can actually control this, bear with. And I'll get the manual up because I need the key bindings for this because there's no physical switches here. Oh no, there are. Are there? So Class 92 Enhancement Pack, 68.9 by the way from the AP website in case you were wondering. And keyboard controls. So, enunciating next screen, page up, page down. So you can see you can put a digital speeder on there, tells you how fast you're going. That is dynamic brake demand, which is quite cool. We'll look at that for the braking on as we slow down. So it's pulled off to a green, so I'm going to stay at 60 for now. Obviously, temperatures, oil temps, annunciator panel. Leave that on. It's quite fun to look at that. So if again, we'll just do a running brake test. You just select a full service brake application at 60 miles an hour. You can see, there we go, piles on now. So doing what, 45 kilonewtons per axle, or per bogie, sorry. So 22 per axle. It's quite impressive to think about it from that perspective. Obviously other brake indications are here. So brake flow, bogie pressure, like main res and thingy. And that's like how much pressure is in the bogies. So I'm going to shut off one more time. Sorry, we're just talking brakes here. And we're going through a neutral section anyway. So you hear that sound again of the VCB coming back online as we go through. If I take a brake selection here, it's actually not applying any air brake. It's just, oh no, weirdly, it's just, you can see the airflow drums, but nothing else does. That's not good. Oh wow. With this rocker switch here, so this selects what mode the train's in. So that would go to the 0 position, then select BRDC if I wanted to go to third rail land, BRCTRL if I was on HS1, EUAC if I was over in France, or Bulgaria. And then you set it back to 1 and then press that button there and it basically it configures the train for you. We've talked about the TMS, emergency brake plunger, brake overcharge, direct brake, PBR brake or train brake, and the two-tone horn. Leighton Buzzard. 90 on the back. Is your two-tone horn. Next you've got Charles Dickens. My personal 92. One of 3 models of the 92 I have. Honestly, I have. So I was drunk. This is my defence. And I bought on finance a Cavalex GBRF 56. It's basically the multi-pack, and I paid an outrageous sum for it, and I'm regretting it. Honestly, it's my plan is, so I'm paying it over an outrageously long period, is basically to pay it off as quickly as I can. So I set it to be a year, but the aim is to pay it off sooner. It's just it basically gives me the most sorry, brain is hard. Well, so basically just give me the most flexibility. So like, if for whatever reason I don't make any money one month, I can still hopefully cover it out of my like other, without defaulting. Then up here is all your light control. So tail lights, Cyclops light. We can turn that off now that we've left the yard. So that's what the train normally looks like. I like the Cyclops light though. Or the upper headlight, demist, all the boring stuff. You've got door close controls, which I don't think have ever been used for realsies. So obviously these are basically the body shell of a Class 60. The front end's slightly redone, like this bit here. Basically from the cab windows down is reshaped, but the rest of it is a Class 60. And obviously the overhead's a bit chopped out. Actually, so trucks have got operating clips, red flags, detonators. That's your emergency equipment. So track circuit operating clips, the way all the signals know that we're here, that where the other trains are, is there's a slight current in one rail and it gets passed to the other rail through our axles. If, for whatever reason, for example, we've checked for good running of the train, and we've discovered that one of the CEAs, I chose the great opportunity for this, hang on. We've discovered that we've got someone in the back who's looking out for us, that one of the CEAs is bouncing around like crazy, and it's actually become derailed. We emergency it, speak to the we speak to the sailor, but in certain areas you may need to protect the train yourself. And the way you do that is you would basically jump out, or if you couldn't reach the signal, for example, say your NRN had died, you jump out, set track circuit operating clips, and that would avert any signals to danger. Because if we'd derailed this and only came to a stand, it was foul of this line, it could be hit by an oncoming train, basically. Any questions? It's Pink. Why is Pink Pony Club in my head? I've recently discovered that it is what you can use for CPR. So, down at the Pink Pony Club. Yeah. Full power go on, please. I must have tripped it out. So if you go through neutral section and don't shut the throttle, it'll basically stop you drawing power. Oh, I failed the train. So speed's decaying. Can hear the fans, so it should be that. Put the brakes off just to be safe. So I'm going to open and close the VCB as a test. Oh, I had a fault. I hadn't noticed because I was on my own indicator panel. And there you go, power's drawn now. And we're rocking and rolling. Rocking and rolling. I've got the power on and we're just rumbling away now. "75 warning post." This is with Black Shirt coming up on, so we're nearly there. I've ranted and raved my way through today's video. Are you proud of me yet? Next one I'm planning to record, which you may have seen by now, is sorry, brain is hard. Is the 66 on Great Western hauling a military train. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to also that the new AP66 will have dropped this month, potentially by the time you watch today's video. And if it has, then I'll be very happy and I'll be able to record some stuff with that, because we've been so overdue a good 66. I'm going to shut off since we're going through Double Amber, and again we know we're approaching a station. That was crazy. I didn't even acknowledge in my brain that we had an AWS there. Yeah, sunflowers. It should be lit. That hadn't go off. That's interesting. That's a wrong side fault. Sorry, that was weird. You can see the banner of Peter as we approach the station. This is Bletchley, very foggy Bletchley. So that line there is, so basically if you're going off to, well, we came off there in the HKA run, and basically that is the line up to Bedford. And one of the reasons you see a lot of aggregates going up there is there's an old brick pit. So they dig the clay out for bricks out of it. That's been decommissioned for quite a few years, and I'm going to set 40 as my pre-selected speed now. No, full service. Really want to go slightly less than full service, even though I can see it's a red, so I'm just paranoid. Anyway, sorry, as I was trying to say there, and what they're doing is basically waste, like non-hazardous dirt, basically, gets from construction, and in all over the country gets taken there. So usually London, like or southeast construction, but it could be anywhere. Single amber, power back on. And you guys just rocket up to 40. Probably within like the length of our own train. So if I just did that and did F5 so we could see the speed. Yeah, we were at 30 when we got off the front end. Literally within the length of the train. That's insane, isn't it? So, like I say, that's 321. We've been following it up the country because it's been stopping. So, it's obviously it'll be cruising at line speed, but it's had to stop regularly. So, because we're just sitting at 60 and not having to stop or worry about anything, it's we've caught it up a few times effectively. So you can see we've got an adverse signal, but we're just gonna. It's a single still, so actually we'll just accept the check down and just stay slower. Single amber, red ahead, red ahead, red ahead, head. Basically just give myself the best chance to remember to stop. So because I'm already at a 40, I'm not slowing down further because, you know, we're at 2/3 of line speed. Well, actually, we're at less than 2/3 of line speed. We're less than half the line speed. So as long as the train is moving, it should draw away from us, and you can see we're still keeping single amber. Yeah, we're at 40% of line speed. Well, less than half the line speed. And I think that was popping in the distance there. That was Milton Keynes station. I do zoom in purely because in real life, you've got 180 degree wraparound vision that you just don't get in a video game. My FOV is very narrow normally, so that's why I can you can sort of squint in and look into the distance. That's why I zoom so much. You feel travel sick yet? Good. You deserve it. Dubs. Up to 50. We can put 60 on. To be honest, we're going to be stopping momentarily. I'm just going to shut off actually. So when we stop, we'll dump the brakes on, shut off the cab, get out. Double amber, single amber next. And it's literally, as we get to Milton Keynes, we pop out the fog. And we go back to it being a normal day. Fucking classic. Absolutely lovely journey though that's been up. I'm taking another screenshot now, just to make sure I've got one. You can see the 321, that'll be stuck in the platform. So it gives you an idea of sort of where we're going. I'm going to use a nice genteel slowing off. So this is Milton Keynes. You may recognise this from the Making Tracks models. We're going straight through, so we're not bothered about that 40. And that is literally the train we've been following all the way up. And it terminates here. We're going to go back. Well, we're going to continue, but we obviously don't continue with this train. We're going to hand it over to a colleague from crew. Or somewhere. Got the off indicator. That means we know that the signal's pulled off at the end of the platform, which means it's set to proceed aspects. And there's our man. We'll just drop near him somewhere. I feel bad for completely just noping the driver in the 37 video, hopefully, which has been out by now. Yeah, I'm high up by it. So, full breakups. Key off. We'll leave headlights set, we'll leave NRN radio set. Aside from that, we can get off on out and actually set the upper headlights and turn the main line. Just gives us a nice bright light, white light on the front. There we go. We hop out now. Good work. Another driver here is here really for the rest of the journey. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like the video if you did. Subscribe to see more from me on a regular basis. Until next time, bye.